Why was a hospital administrator being escorted out by security at 4 in the morning? Just 1 hour earlier, she thought firing someone would make her look powerful. She had no idea that 4 people covered in blood were about to make her career crumble in 60 seconds. This is what happened when she picked the wrong target on the wrong night. The clock on the wall read 3:07 a.m. St. Catherine's Hospital emergency room hummed with that specific kind of exhaustion that only exists in the dead hours of night. Fluorescent lights buzzed overhead, casting everything in that sickly institutional glow. The automatic doors swooshed open every few minutes, letting in the December cold and the wail of ambulance sirens. Miguel Rodriguez pushed his cleaning cart slowly past the waiting area. His navy blue scrubs faded from years of washing, his worn sneakers squeaking slightly on the linoleum. At 52, he'd been cleaning these floors for 14 years. He knew every corner, every stain, every place where the tile met the wall. He'd just finished sanitizing the trauma bay after a motorcycle accident. His hands still smelled like industrial cleaner, even through the gloves. The sharp click of heels echoed down the corridor like gunshots. Karen Whitmore, the hospital's night operations administrator, appeared around the corner. Her cream pantsuit was still pristine despite the hour, her designer glasses perched perfectly on her nose, her leather portfolio tucked under one arm like a weapon. "You," she said, pointing at Miguel. Her voice carried that particular edge of someone who'd been waiting for an opportunity. "Why is there still a wet floor sign outside room 7? Miguel looked up, confused. "Ma'am, I just finished Trauma Bay 3. There was a critical patient. They needed—" "I don't care about excuses," she cut him off, her voice rising. A nurse at the station glanced over nervously. "Your job is to maintain cleanliness standards, not to make decisions about priorities. That's my job." She stepped closer, and Miguel could smell her expensive perfume mixing with the antiseptic hospital air. "Do you know how many complaints I've received about cleanliness this month? Do you know what that does to our accreditation scores? I'm sorry. I was told the trauma took priority." "Told by whom?" Her eyes narrowed. "By doctors who think they run everything. Let me be clear, Mr. Rodriguez. I run operations. I determine staffing. I decide who stays and who goes." She pulled out her phone, typing something rapidly. "This is your 3rd documented incident of poor time management. I'm putting you on immediate suspension pending termination review." Miguel's face went pale. "Please, ma'am. I have a daughter in college. I need this job. You should have thought about that before deciding you could ignore protocols." She raised her voice deliberately, making sure the waiting patients and nurses could hear. "This is what happens when people forget their place. You're a janitor, Mr. Rodriguez, not a decision maker. Know your role." Miguel's hands trembled as he gripped his mop handle. 14 years of showing up every night, of taking pride in work others overlooked, of putting his daughter through school while his wife worked double shifts, all of it crashing down because of one woman's need to feel powerful at 3 in the morning. A few patients in the waiting room looked away, uncomfortable witnesses to public humiliation. The nurses at the station exchanged glances but said nothing. In a hospital, administrators had power. Everyone knew that. If your heart breaks seeing someone humiliated for doing their best, please like and subscribe to support more stories of kindness and justice. It helps us reach people who need to hear these messages. The trauma bay doors slammed open. 4 figures emerged, and the atmosphere changed instantly. Dr. Sarah Chen led the group, still in her surgical scrubs, splattered with blood from the emergency surgery they'd just completed. Behind her, Dr. Marcus Thompson, Dr. Jennifer Walsh, and Dr. Patel, all of them still wearing their surgical caps, all of them looking like they've been through war. "Karen," Dr. Chun's voice cut through the hallway like a scalpel. "What exactly is happening here?" The administrator's confident posture flickered for just a moment. "Dr. Chun, this doesn't concern medical staff. This isn't operational." That man, Dr. Chun, pointed at Miguel. literally just saved a patient's life. While we were performing emergency surgery on a 16-year-old girl with internal bleeding, Miguel stayed in that trauma bay for 2 hours doing continuous cleaning because we couldn't risk infection. He didn't leave. He didn't complain. He stood there, in blood and chaos, doing his job so we could do ours. Dr. Thompson stepped forward, his large frame still radiating the intensity of the operating room. "You want to talk about who keeps this hospital running? We just spent 4 hours reattaching that girl's spleen. You know who made sure our instruments were sterile? Whose clean floors meant we didn't track contaminants into the OR? Him." Karen's face flushed. I have protocols to follow. Time management standards. Then follow them, Dr. Patel interrupted, his usually gentle voice hard. "Because here is a protocol. Those 4 surgeons standing in front of you are informing you that if Miguel Rodriguez is suspended, none of us work our next shift." The silence was deafening. Dr. Wash pulled out her phone. "I'm also calling the union, the hospital board, and emailing every attending physician in this hospital. By 8 a.m., everyone will know what happened here tonight." Karen's hands shook slightly. Her leather portfolio suddenly looked less like armor. "You can't. This is insubordination." "I'll report." "Report what?" Dr. Chun stepped closer, her voice quiet now, which somehow made it more powerful. "That you publicly humiliated a dedicated employee during a crisis. That you prioritize paperwork over patient care. Go ahead. Put it in writing." Security appeared at the end of the hallway, not for Miguel, but called by the head nurse, who'd had enough. The chief of surgery, awakened by calls, was already on his way in. Karen Whitmore left the hospital that night. Miguel Rodriguez was given a formal commendation by morning. Sometimes the people who keep the lights on, who clean the floors, who show up when no one's watching, they're real backbone of everything we take for granted. Power isn't about titles. It's about knowing who really matters when everything's on the line. Where are you watching from right now? And tell us honestly, if you'd been in that waiting room, would you have spoken up? Drop your location and your answer in the comments below.